Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price right now as equity markets close the week extremely strong. Over 75% of stocks right now are above their 50-day moving average. The last time this happened, we saw a sustained rally for 6 to 12 months, and Bitcoin right now facing an extremely important 11-year resistance level. As I record this video, Bitcoin at 24,500 prior to the weekend starting. I had to get out this emergency update, Snipers, because we're going to discuss some upside targets as equity markets are giving Bitcoin the green light to see upside this weekend. And then we'll talk about Ethereum. Snipers, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these weekend updates. So with Bitcoin right now really getting itself above 24,300, our new daily candle you can see is fully above this major resistance. We have to start discussing the upside targets in the immediate short term. You can see at 25,000, we have the 100-day moving average. And if we just go above that, you'll notice the 200-day moving average is currently sitting around $33,000. What's interesting is that the S&P 500 has already made it to that 200-day moving average. And so we're going to keep that on our radar. But more importantly, the S&P 500 right now is above its 20-week moving average with an extremely bullish weekly candle close. This is giving Bitcoin all of the reasons to break out above 24,300 right now. This weekend, potentially, where the markets are the most manipulated, what are we monitoring for upside targets? Well, the first thing you'll notice is where the 20-week moving average is sitting is right around that $29,000 level. Why is that important? Well, let's say that is our first upside target. What would that do for Bitcoin? Well, it would potentially allow Bitcoin to fill the CME gap between 27,365 and 28,740. So that is our first upside target if Bitcoin breaks above 24,300 with decisive 4-hour candles. You can see as I record this video, it's the first full 4-hour candle above 24,300, which is why I had to get this video update out to you guys. And Bitcoin has all of the reasons to get towards that $29,000 level. And what's interesting about that is it would also break this bear market resistance level that has held Bitcoin down since the top. And so that would be an extremely positive upside target for Bitcoin to see this weekend. But what are the early confirmations of this that we're not going to see the rug get pulled? I'll tell you though, all revolving parts right now, Snipers, are in the favor of Bitcoin seeing this move this weekend. What we want to monitor first is going to be this Bitcoin to SPY chart. If we start to break out of this symmetrical triangle, then that could be the early confirmation that Bitcoin is ready to see this move to the upside. And so let's continue to monitor the Bitcoin to SPY chart, as right now, if Bitcoin were to not break out of this symmetrical triangle, it really only leaves Bitcoin with about 3% upside during this weekend to potentially still not break that high. That would bring Bitcoin up to that 25,000, let's say $500 level, and it would reject the 100-day moving average. And so the bearish case would be if we break below 23,795, then we'll have to keep our minds open for a potential move to potentially clear out some long positions down here below 23,795 and maybe find some support at 21,000 US dollars. I'll mention this, Snipers. If we see any downside this weekend specifically, I am certainly going to be looking for a long position around 21,000 US dollars. We know the markets are the most manipulated, so as much as we want to assume that everything is bullish outside of Bitcoin right now, just keep in mind that if we do see something abnormal, 21,000 US dollars is probably going to be a great place to take a long position. But based on what I'm seeing, based on the way the NASDAQ moved up today to close the week, you can see it moved above this bear market resistance level, and the S&P 500, you can see even stronger with this move today, a very bullish candle for the daily and weekly close. I believe that we have to really consider the fact that Bitcoin is potentially ready to move towards its 20-week moving average at $30,000. That is our initial upside target. But here's the cool part about what's happening right now, Snipers. Being above 24,295, that's a major support. And it was previous resistance, but we're obviously starting to break out of it with this ascending triangle formation. And so being above 24,300 not only opens up the door to that 20-week moving average, but it actually opens up the door all the way to 34,788. This is a very large range for Bitcoin. Just remember when Bitcoin first tested this range, when we were breaking out to new all-time highs and it was first entering into price discovery, how fast within a week or two we saw 35,000 after we broke above 25,000. And so that's why this is a very large range for Bitcoin. And it's extremely positive that we're starting to see some price action above 24,300, because that certainly is all we need for the door to open to this $35,000 level. Of course, it might not happen overnight, but that would be the major resistance coming out of this $24,300 resistance level. And so that would pretty much take Bitcoin away from this consolidation. And now we really have a strong case to make that we bottomed out. Now, Ethereum, interestingly enough, right now is testing 1980. This is its major resistance level. This is just as important as 24,300 is for Bitcoin, because if 1980 opens up with the Ethereum merge coming out in September 19th, we could be seeing a buy the hype rally up to 3454. So $3,500 is the next upside target for Ethereum if we break above 1980, which would also break that 20-week moving average for Ethereum. And so that would certainly be on the table, and you can see clearly with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart knocking out this lower high, it's clearly heading towards a destination, and 88,300 Satoshis is our current destination for this potential upside for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. And if that breaks, then that potentially puts the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart into price discovery to even see further upside. And so that's going to also lead some of the other altcoins further up. The DXY doing exactly what we want, closing below 106.56, the major resistance. Now it has a lot of room to see some potential downside, which is extremely positive for the equity markets. And so I would say it was a very positive close to the week, to say the least, snipers, with Bitcoin starting to move above 24,300. The equity market's already confirming a massive breakout. Now we have all of the reasons for Bitcoin to move further up, potentially fill that CME gap at $29,000 in the immediate short term. Being above 24,300, it is now the most important support level. If we break below that, 23,795 is what we're watching for a potential rug pull during this weekend. But it would be hard to say that that's going to happen based on how the equity markets close. So the main point here is Bitcoin does have all of the four-dimensional revolving parts in its side right now to see this breakout, and that's extremely exciting for the Bitcoin price. Let's see what happens, snipers. I'll keep you guys updated. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these quick Friday updates. And until next time, snipers, I'll see you guys. Snipers.